Hello, guys. Good evening. It's been a while since I've done one of these live streams, but I was wanting to get into all this, Diddy controversy. And with this stuff, I always try and be, objective. I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon. I like to do my own thinking, come to my own conclusions. I try and spot things that others haven't. I don't want to try and do the whole super clickbaity, or just believing everything that Jaguar Wright says. I try and be quite, I try and do the best job I can, but I try and still do it. When you're doing these things and you're doing these, and you got to play the game with YouTube and do the clickbait type headlines. But I still want to have a fair degree of uh, integrity when doing this, and also want to be objective and be honest and not just you know run with a certain thing that might fit my narrative. Just because it would fit my narrative doesn't mean I'll run with it. I try and be honest as I just try and be honest. No honest as I can be. I just try and be honest. Full stop. I want to see how we are for numbers tonight. This is kind of just like an impromptu live stream, but I want to see how we are. If we can get a good few people in the live stream, and then I can get into this stuff and really get into this stuff because I want to get into the whole stuff with Diddy and Kanye West, because of all these allegations coming out with Kanye West, and one of them was something that happened 2 years ago, allegedly at a P. Diddy party. I found that rather interesting, considering supposedly there was a big falling out at one point that these two guys had. So I'm interested to get into that stuff with Kanye and Diddy, but I just want to see how we are for numbers, though. But just a moment. Hopefully, we got a fair crowd tonight. But it's been a while since I've done one of these. Has been a while, but hopefully, we get a good amount of people in. Always does take a couple of minutes, and I didn't really have this up advertised for long, this live stream. Hopefully we get a fair few people in. Just give it a few minutes. But guys, yeah, Kanye West and Diddy. So, I mean, first off, a question. I mean, what do you guys think about all these Kanye West allegations that have come out in this lawsuit by his former chief of staff? Are you buying this stuff? Do you believe it? Do you think it's just all these are just, as Kanye's lawyers have said, baseless allegations? What do you guys think? Just trying to see, getting the link out to some people, see if we can get a few more people in. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a minute too. Hopefully, we get a fair few people in soon. I was a bit late though. Any comments when you guys are hopping in? I can't see it live right now who's in, but please just leave a comment. I'll get to it in a minute or two. Diane, hi Diane. I remember you, Diane, commenting in a couple of my videos before the wrestling stuff. Hi, how you doing? You reckon his Mrs. Bianca has a part to play? Apparently, she was a worker for Diddy. Ah, interesting. The plot thickens, right? Yeah, Bianca. I mean, they're saying that Bianca has very much been involved in this stuff, right? That she's been almost like the coordinator and all this stuff that they've been talking about, like these orgies that have been going on. And it's like, yeah, man, she's a funny one, right? I mean, you can see it's quite obvious with Kanye that he just wants full control of this woman, right? It's just so obvious he wants to control every aspect about her. It goes without saying it's obviously that what she wears, how she dresses, makeup, etc., etc. But at the same time, it's almost like she's just happy to go along with it, happy to like almost like be his slave essentially. And it's with Bianca, she never seems to smile, right? She never smiles. I mean, whether that's like a Kanye thing telling her not to smile, or she's just so like genuinely not happy. She can't even fake a smile. It's a weird thing that went on. I mean, Kanye was always crazy and erratic, but he's gone way over the edge in the past like couple of years. It is just like you're publicly seeing like someone self-destruct. And it was crazy because I did have a lot of time with Kanye. I was a big fan of his music. But now you see this stuff, it's just darker and darker and darker. And it's like that's why I was wanting to get into this stuff and like link it to Diddy. Because it's like I have a hard time believing that, like, if these guys were so close, and I didn't realize how close they really were, but it appears from what we're hearing that they were very close, that Kanye must have had an idea about what was really going on there with Diddy, right? And yeah, I just have some questions about the whole thing. I mean, it just feels like, yeah, they're happy to throw Diddy under the bus, but I mean, is there a big reason behind that to protect all the other people that have been caught up in all this stuff, nefarious stuff, illegal stuff? But they need to have a front guy for that. They need the Diddy's. They need the Jeffrey Epstein's, Harvey Weinstein's for that matter. Yeah, I mean, it's a very odd one, right? But yeah, I mean, she's certainly not innocent in this, though. I feel though, Diane is his wife, Bianca. And but they supposedly could be getting like going for a separation, or getting a divorce. I would say though that I have a very strong feeling though that probably Kanye didn't sign a prenuptial agreement. I think like he's just got this woman under her thumb that much that that she would have been happy not there was no prenuptial agreement. You know what I mean? that if they split, like basically, she won't get a penny. Ah, right. I see. Yeah. Yeah, it's never just like a random regular girl, right? There's always these connections, and it's like you know who is connected, Diana? It's the husband or the partner, boyfriend of Chris Jenner, Corey Gamble. He's connected. He's kind of connected to this stuff with Diddy too, and maybe even Justin Bieber because he was Justin Bieber's old tour manager. And when Diddy's ex-wife Kim Porter died, they said it was of pneumonia. He was there at the scene, afterwards. So I was like, what the hell is that all about? So there's questions there. I mean, all these fuckers seem to be all connected, and like it's a small world in that world, that showbiz world of Hollywood, right? It's uh, it's a very small world. I remember Nick Cannon saying that about Hollywood. Everybody knows everybody, and I'm sure he's probably not innocent. He's probably there's maybe some sketchy, questionable things out there about him. I mean, he likes his ladies. I think he's like got like 5 or 6 baby mamas or whatever. But but the thing was though, the only thing that's a bit I think that's questionable about the lawsuit though is probably like the sexual assault part, Diane, because I'd heard about that lawsuit. It was out a few months ago, but then later on in the sexual assault part, which she didn't before. So that's going to be a little bit questionable there. So there is questions there to me. Is how credible is this? Is this just a money grab? You know, well, and so many people want money because look at all these other additional lawsuits now against Diddy. I think it was a 6 lawsuits that were revealed yesterday. And it's like, man, and it's not just, it's a few cases though of guys who'd been, sexually assaulted, you know? All right. Are you talking about Corey Gamble, Diane? So he was there at those like Diddy parties. Right, right. Yeah, he's like well, I mean, he's supposedly supposed to be in the music business, right? It's you get these strange people. It's even like there's Nicki Minaj and her husband is like a registered sex offender. It's like, why the hell? It's like of all the dudes that she could have got with, why get with this guy? It's like weird shit. Some weird characters. Yeah, yeah. I mean, she was working in his company for a while, and I mean, yeah, you could just say you could say she's totally madly in love with him. She's just falling for his star power. That Kanye West, this big artist. You could say there could be more to it. There could be this is like a thing of like mind control. You know what I mean? That Kanye is like her mind control handler, maybe perhaps. It's yeah. When you see that whole thing about how he wants to control her, I mean, who we were always told that who was the guy that liked to control girls? It was always about control. R. Kelly, you know, And I just wonder if there's stuff out there like to do with that about Kanye. I mean, the thing is like with Kanye, it's like, yeah, it's like Kanye's a guy, it's like he's a womanizer. He'll flirt, he'll aggressively chase women. But there's being that and sometimes that kind of borderline behavior that goes with that. But then there's somebody that actually does it, physically does it, like actually sexually assault a woman. I just don't think Kanye is that guy that has it in him to do something like that. I could be totally wrong, but I do hope the allegations are untrue. But I'm not going to this thinking, just because he was like arguing with one of my favorite rapper, one of my favorite rappers at one point. I'm not just gonna think, oh, no, he definitely he didn't do it. You know what I mean? It's like I think a lot of people would have that thing, like even like a Michael Jackson. It's like people would say because they're such big fans of him. Oh, Michael Jackson never would have done that. He never would have done that, to those kids. But we don't know. He could have. In some cases, perhaps yes, but yeah, man, it's just some wild shit, eh? But this stuff with Diddy though, it's like, gee, good grief. The one thing, bring a slight, but going over that is just evil. It seems Hollywood's full of weirdos. Yeah. Yeah, there's all this stuff, Diana. I mean, there was stuff, I don't know if you heard about Suge Knight, stuff that he's done interviews, but he's in prison, but he's done interviews speaking about Diddy. And he talks about this thing about like a boiled egg, the boiled egg test. Have you heard of that? There's just like some weird shit that they'll get all these celebrities to do, almost like a test to see if whether they're ready or not. But this weird thing of this indicator of whether you're ready or not to them, it's weird. It certainly isn't like that way we're brought up, where we're led to believe that we're good and we're good at something. Talent, we have a talent, we work hard at that we can become really successful. It's a lot more to it than life. In life, obviously, isn't it? A lot of it is so much playing the game, who and that's really how it is in that world, for sure, no doubt. Nepotism runs rife, Hi, Lenny. Hi, how you doing? Good evening, mate. How's yourself? P. Diddy is in his 50s. There's no good age to do a long jail stretch. They all seem morally bankrupt. Oh, God, they are. There's no morals with any of them, really. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, who knows? Diddy might know. Well, they'll tell us that, though. They'll tell us it was it was the S word, but you know, Alex Salmon died a heart attack. Yeah, yeah, I heard that too. It was weird. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, Lanny, that he had a heart attack as the Scotland game just started. The football game. He was a big football guy, Alex Salmon, and the former First Minister Donald Dewar, he died as well. I believe it was a heart attack as well, and that was like 22 years ago, almost on the same day. It was the 10th of October, and that was when Scotland were playing Croatia as well in the football, and that was that another game. It was weird some of how these things have weird coincidences, or are they? I can't wait for 50 Cent's documentary. Did he do it? Yeah. Is that the actual name? Isn't the name Surviving P. Diddy? I think. And Netflix got it. I mean, God. If you thought Surviving R. Kelly was something, this is going to be like, even, I don't know, man. It's like, I mean, the thing with R. Kelly was, I mean, you remember, like, he was illiterate, right? He didn't have the brain power that Diddy had, Like, Diddy is just, I mean, I don't know, it would be fair to say that Diddy is R. Kelly on steroids, but it's just like just a similar type of predator, really, right? Little difference, huh? Something about Ashton Kutcher looking to move to Europe. I'm a Diddy drama. Well, he picks his friends wisely, right? That Danny Masterton and then Diddy, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. He's another funny one, isn't he? There's some stuff out there about him. There was always something I never really did take to Kutcher when he was trying to be like that, like, that type of like American, oh yeah, young dude. That, the character, the kind of way he was acting when he was on that punk show. I never really did take to him. There was always something about that I found a little bit, I don't know, like forced, JD, hi. JD PNW, remember when we loved Russell Brand and Diddy in the movie Getting to the Greek? Well, people look at that movie differently now, with Diddy. And yeah, that's a weird film, though, when you look back. I mean, Diddy was essentially playing himself in that movie, wasn't he? Like Diddy was like it turned out to be a total monster, right? The character at the end. There was that whole thing, like joke about that he was a cannibal and whatever, and just some weird shit. And the Russell Brand's character and then Jonah Hill's character running away from him in the hallway. I can't stand any of them. I mean, but Russell Brand now, he's trying to flog this like whole like this like necklace thing to like being true, to tune into your one self and being in tune with the universe. He's flogging this thing. I think it's something ridiculous, like it costs like 250 plus quid or something. This guy, man. I mean, if you're like in the alt media truther world and you haven't seen you don't see through Russell Brand, and there's something up. He's he's a grifter, man. He can't be trusted. Yeah, but I mean, there's something about Ashton Kutcher there, and like a girl he was seeing at the time, or he was going to get a date with, and she ended up like she got killed. He was like the last person there, or some shit like that. There is some weird stuff there about him, and then there's stuff there. Like I guess he would have been close to a guy. Well, he may have had ties to Scientology. He may actually have ties to Freemasonry. Yeah, there's some weird stuff there about him. Who will they go after next? I mean, I don't know. I mean, people are saying all this stuff, Lenny, about the Diddy tapes. That people are on the tapes, that it could really shock people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's funny. I was looking into that, and I was trying to think, like, because the guy that did that book supposedly with the ex who's now died, Kim Porter, the book came out, but then a lot of people now are just saying that is all lies. A lot of it's bullshit, and I think it got pulled from Amazon. A lot of people questioning the credibility, like Kim Porter's friends, the family, and all that. I don't know. That's a funny one, but the guy seemed a bit sketchy who did the book, but he could know some things there, and there could be some people there that are on those tapes that would shock us. I don't know. We can only speculate, really, which is not a good thing. You shouldn't really get into that, but I think a lot of people have an idea who the people are around them, and we hear about that big pop star and the stories there, and yeah, people can have an idea, right? But R. Kelly was foul. Him and Jay-Z wreaked havoc in the 90s and 90s. So many people died, got hooked on drugs and died. Horrific. Jermaine Dupri is caught up in this too. He's vile. Yeah, well, Lanny's saying who's next. Maybe it'll be Jermaine Dupri, Diane. Yeah. Maybe there's some questions there about, like the marriage, because he was married to Janet Jackson, right? So maybe there's some stuff there. Yeah, I've heard stories here and there about Jermaine Dupri. There's some questionable stuff there, but it has been covered up, right? I mean, for the most part. But there's rumors. I've heard Jermaine Dupri rumors, but JD Kucha has that agency that tries to remove pedo. Yeah. I know. And he's one of those, because is it not like connected to that guy that did the Sound of Freedom film JD, and they both links to Freemasonry, so it appears on the surface that they're doing this stuff to like combat all that stuff, that like trafficking and that, but I don't know, there's something a lot more darker there. It's not much more to it than meets the eye to me. Right. I was going to specifically get into that stuff then with Kanye and Diddy, because there's questions there that I do have about this supposedly, well, they were so close for a long time, and then they had that falling out, we were told, and that's how it appeared to be 2 years ago. So definitely more than meets the eye. Yeah, that's fine. Nothing wrong with to speculate. I was just saying before, I don't want to it's bad to kind of throw names out there of people who you like, for example, I think so-and-so's are wrong, and I think so-and-so was maybe on the Diddy tape. I think so-and-so did stuff with Diddy, like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But there was a thing that I was doing just from trying to do a little bit of research on it. Lenny, Kevin Spacey is back. Schofield's back. Yeah, I mean, Schofield, they're trying hard to get him now to be seen in the public light. I mean, and his mother passed away, And do you think, Lenny, that Schofield would be manipulative enough to use his mother's death to try and get back in the good graces of people and TV? Kevin Spacey's back making films. Like, yeah, I know. And it was the same people that thought Kevin Spacey was guilty, and then they're the same people that are like, oh no, this cancel culture is bad, try to take him down and tear a man down. It was the same people, Lenny, that like until that stuff came out that he had been acquitted, they were on Kevin Spacey. Like same crowd of people, Yeah, that Diane, yeah. Messed up with Criss Cross boys, then Cross got addicted to drugs and passed. It's been reported in the news. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. That one, yeah, the Crisscross guys, and yeah, they had that song as well. It was big back in 92, 93, right? I think they sampled what the Jackson 5, right? Song. I think that was like that would like you listen to it, and even though I wasn't around at that time, it would have been like growing up as a kid, like that would have been cool. Like hearing that, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, man. There's so many casualties in the music business. So many casualties. But I was looking through, like, based on the stories you hear about people that Diddy's been connected to and all this stuff about the Diddy tapes who are on them. Like, there's from the names that of people that like if you hear have you heard these names, you would be like shocked. And from looking at the names, there was like one big actor, definitely gonna be a big A-list actor, one of the biggest rappers out of the past 30 years, a big pop star who was a big teen idol, well, still is, a well-known, big, powerful person in politics, a big A-list actor in the past 25, 30 years, a very, very well-known, popular politician. If I say anything else, it'll give it away. A well-known, someone who was well-known, who Diddy took under his wing in music. Someone who we've been speaking about. And there's two more. So here's two more. Someone in the royal family. And one of the biggest well-known sports stars on the planet. So I don't know if you got all that there, but those are like some clues from the stuff that I've been looking into of like when they say that like, oh, the names of the people on these tapes will shock you. If they all came out, it would like just like basically the world would collapse. We wouldn't be able to handle all that. But there's probably like 10 big names there of people who, many of them, you could say maybe 60, 70% of them would be on the tapes. But again, could one by one some stuff start coming out on certain people? Could be, but again, things came out with the whole thing with like Meek Mill and that lawsuit filed by Lil Rod, right? Wasn't it that Meek Mill and Usher were the two? Or was it Meek Mill and Chris Brown, the two guys that were named of allegedly having sexual relations with Diddy? I'm not saying anything, Diane. I'm not saying anything. But he had a big thing, did he, about wanting to be around these circles, and even hanging around the footballers here in the UK. He was like around the Manchester United football team, pictured with everybody, pictured with Alex Ferguson, and there was all that weird stuff there about that celebrity event, when the charity event, when it was like Wayne Rooney had paid 100 grand, he was going to have a night out with Diddy, which never happened in the end. I think it actually ended up being £150 he was going to pay. And it never happened in the end. And then Diddy said that, we'll go out on Saturday and then we'll wake up on Wednesday. And then it'll be like, your ass will wake up on Wednesday. And then very quickly, as the audience was laughing and kind of like clapping a bit, he adds in next to me. He was very subtle and very slick at how he added in that next to me part. He just got it in there without anybody like thinking, oh, hang on, oh shit, what the fuck do you mean by that? Because some people might say, oh, wow, as a woman, that wouldn't be, it wouldn't, okay, because Diddy's was popular ladies guy on the surface, right? But then it could have been a guy that had, would have gone on the night out with Diddy. But the way he added in that next to me part after the audience reacted, you'd have to see the clip, to maybe that's one I could actually play later, I could react to that. But yeah. Allegedly, yeah, we've always got to add in allegedly, right, Diane? Because you don't want anyone threatening to sue you, right? Yeah, I don't know though about. I know the voice clip that you mean, Diane, but I don't think that. I think that's made up. To be honest with you, I don't believe that. That could have just been something that someone took from a porno. I don't know that's true. That's not one with Meek and Diddy. I don't know. People could have AI'd that for all done an AI voice with them. Lenny, do you think Diddy's right? I don't know. I think he's maybe hypersexual, bisexual, Lenny, but then it seems to be a big thing he has with guys. He's really like interested in guys. There's all these stories about different rappers he took a liking to. There was Fabulous. God, there's so many people, right? There's so many names. It's like, where do you start, But then that's why I do question this stuff with like Kanye, because it's like if Diddy was this guy, it's like type of monster guy. Then did anything happen there with him and Kanye? Did he make a pass at Kanye? Is Kanye just not his type? What's going on there? You know what I mean? And the game is another one, Diane. The game for he went out of his way for a while to say this in interviews about how he was kicking it with P. Diddy for a long time, for like 2 years. I can't remember if this was even before he got his record deal or this is maybe just after the split from G Unit. But he says how he was kicking it with P. Diddy for 2 years. Just partying, doing nothing. Wasn't really serious about music. And that's weird. When you think of all the stuff that coming out with P. Diddy now, and you were going out your way in interviews to say that, well, there was already questions there, about Diddy. Yeah, that's exactly what you said, Lenny. Quote verbatim, kicking it with P. Diddy. Yeah, well, I mean, on that point, Lenny, about you saying the black rapper gangster being gay, that's my thing. I've said is that Diddy's from that old school generation where being gay in rap was unacceptable. And I still think he's got that old school in him. So even if he thought, if I do this emotional, dramatic coming out, I'm gay, and it might sway public opinion, you might feel sorry for him. I think his pride would get in the way of that, he couldn't do it. He wouldn't, even if, let's say, supposedly he is gay, he's in the closet. It's always been a front. J-Lo was a beard. Kim Porter was a beard. Or what, he would be the beard for them, right? How does that whole beard thing work if you're like really gay, but you're with a woman? I'm not clued up fully on these things. And why would it be? But I don't know. It's But yeah, I mean, he it's probably a thing with Diddy. He's hypersexual, hypersexual, bisexual. I don't know necessarily he's just straight up gay, but who? J-Lo didn't last, but she's also a 5-time divorcee. Yeah, well, there's questions there with J-Lo. Some people are saying that all the stuff now coming out with Diddy, that's why Ben Affleck, and that's why they broke up. You never know, right? Because it could be something as simple as, when she got with Ben Affleck after Diddy in 2001, 2000, I believe. It could just be something as simple as Ben Affleck asking. He could have just asked her one time, what was it like, the relationship? How was he as a person? And she said, no, he was fine. I was okay. On our right time. I was happy. And that's enough. Like, when you're a stand-up dude and a girl lies to you, that can be like a deal breaker. Guys will be then done with you. Like, I've seen that before. Even like the smallest of things, if a girl lies to the guy, that's it. He could break up the relationship. He finds out that she had been lying. And it could be something like that, all those years ago that she told him, oh no, he was fine. He was a nice guy, Sean. And then all this stuff comes out now about Diddy. Who knows, really? Maybe they had already had problems in their marriage before that. I think it was even on screen at a award show. It was seen that like she seemed to be like really cutting him down, like belittling him. Having this argument, but I don't know. Yeah. But it is kind of strange how J-Lo is like the one woman that I guess like she avoided all the trouble with Diddy. And trouble in the sense, yeah, she was caught up in that whole thing with the shooting in the nightclub, but nothing about being hit or anything about sexual assault, and that drugging. Yeah, Diane, you're right about that stuff. Yeah, because I watched Gene Deal. You're asking about Charlie Sheen, Lenny. Well, how do you think, right? I mean, all the stories that are out there about Charlie Sheen, right? Corey him. Yeah, Gene Deal, though. I watch a lot of his stuff, though. I just believe Gene Deal. I don't know, maybe he exaggerates a bit, but for the most part, I just believe Gene Deal. He's been telling the truth. And Gene Deal and Jagger Wright have played a large part in all this stuff coming out, haven't they? They were talking about this stuff back in 2020, So maybe these guys talking about it is what played a part in getting it coming out. And Cassie sees them talking about this, and it triggers a thought in her that no, he can't keep getting away with this, And I'm going to get more into this maybe another day, but it's just horrific for these people, like the survivors of this, the people who've been abused, been assaulted. It's horrible when it's someone that the world saw as like this great guy. He was like so charming, charismatic, entertaining, this good guy, which a lot of people saw Diddy like that for a while. That's the thing that can fuck them up even more than reliving those moments of what happened in their head and their mind, Yeah, Farnsworth Bentley. Yeah, that was a really strange one, Diane, as well. Yeah, that guy randomly would show up in the music videos and the colorful jumper, the umbrella. Weird shit, right? Yeah. I think I remember seeing him initially in an Outcast video. I remember that. And it is weird though, like you see him in he's like this goofy guy in the music videos. And I didn't know at the time, I wasn't like following all this stuff online, that yeah, he was Diddy's, personal assistant. And yeah, but apparently, yeah, he treated him pretty shitty though. And I think they had a falling out because Diddy didn't pay him, but that's probably pretty common with Diddy though. The stuff with Charlie Sheen, I don't know, but Charlie Sheen's a crazy guy though, Lanny. There's a lot of stuff that out there about him though that I don't know, like stuff is similar to Diddy, maybe somewhat similar. He had a big temper though, didn't he? Rage and yeah, but with this stuff, then let's see if I can start getting into the stuff then with Kanye. I'm going to share my screen. So let's get into this stuff about Kanye West. So the truth about the Kanye and Diddy frenemy shit, from backstage prayers with Bieber to bitter feuds. So Daily Mail reports that Kanye West and Diddy's explosive feud made headlines across the globe after they fell out over Ye's controversial White Lives Matter t-shirt in 2022. But the American rappers were previously thick as thieves, and Diddy was one of the only big names in the showbiz elite who defended Kanye in previous times of controversy. At the height of their friendship, he said that the star had changed my life with his music, while Kanye returned the compliment in 2022 when he declared that Diddy has inspired so many of his life choices, even suggesting that he influenced him to marry ex-wife Kim Kardashian. Now, that's pretty strong, considering what we know about Diddy and pretty much probably everyone knew in showbiz world or had a strong idea and heard stories that, this would be the guy that inspires so many of your choices in life. And even from the woman you married, quite strange there, I didn't quite realize how close Diddy and Kanye, or Ye, some people call them that, were. What is the truth behind their frenemy relationship? Their past is under scrutiny once again, with Kanye at the center of a youth scandal after being accused of drugging and R-word his former assistant Lauren Piscotta at a party with Diddy, who is currently behind bars awaiting trial. Influencer Lauren sued Kanye in June for allegedly sexually harassing and stalking her while she worked for him between 2021 and 2022. He dismissed accusations as accused her of blackmail and extortion. Night, she filed an 88-page updated lawsuit which detailed the rapper's sick sexual obsessions, his fetishes for wanting to sleep with mothers of his sexual targets. That's pretty fucked up. And you know who else they had that stuff out there about wanting to sleep with mothers of the targets? R. Kelly, where he apparently told and was boasting to a female friend of his that he hooked up with Aaliyah's mother too. Second, it's a fucked up mindset. Like the ego in this guy is just totally out of whack. Lauren has accused Kanye of drugging, sexually assaulting her at a party he hosted alongside Combs, alongside a litany of other serious offences, including sex trafficking. Kanye and Diddy had a long-standing bond and had been associated with each other for many years, with Diddy even crediting Kanye for changing his life by making him fall in love with hip-hop again before their friendship turned sour. Kanye and Diddy, whose real name is Sean John Combs, supported each other during studio sessions, red carpet appearances, and were often spotted hanging out at parties together, including the infamous Diddy parties hosted by Combs. A picture of Kanye and Diddy with Prince William and Prince Harry, I mentioned somebody in the royal family, potentially, hashtag P. Diddy tapes, went viral earlier this year after the star was arrested on charges including sex trafficking and racketeering, and photos of him with various celebrities and politicians resurfaced. Just off that, someone's saying here, Kirsten Cavalier thinks Kanye was turned into a clone by the Illuminati. I've heard those conspiracy videos about people thinking it's not the real Kanye, it's a clone. But yes, on the stuff with the royal family, so it was the authentic images, which are available on Getty Images, show the group gathered together at an event held in 2007, honouring Prince Harry's mother, the late Princess Diana. I always found that weird at the time when Diddy was doing, like, Diddy had his own set and did the I'll Be Missing You song, you know, the one that was a tribute to the Biggie after he passed. I always found that weird that they had this rapper, you know, the royal family of this. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was a fit. In the 2010s, they collaborated creatively. Diddy got a production credit on Ye's single All Day. Same year, it was announced that West was joining Diddy's group of super producers, the Hitman, to work on the album Making Money Mitch. Diddy and Kanye have been pictured with Bieber over the years. I did not know about this. I haven't seen this before. And that's brought his own controversy after a video of Diddy boasting of his plans to go buck full crazy and find girls with teenage Justin. Yeah, we've all kind of, we know what we think about that. It's kind of like, yeah, I fear that what most people think happened there could be true, unfortunately. In March 2016, Justin shared a picture of his manager Scooter Braun, himself, Kanye, and Diddy praying backstage at a concert. Another photo, Kim Kardashian joins in. Alongside, he wrote, Uncle Puff and Yeezy give thanks to Jesus. In the image, Justin is wearing a Tupac t-shirt, which may have proved awkward due to the fact that Diddy and Tupac were members of rival gangs before the latter was shot dead in 1995. I did not know this, but only 2 years ago, Diddy and Kanye were as close as recently as 2022, when the former was presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards by Kanye. And I'll get off sharing for a second. That's what I found very strange, because these guys that were supposedly that close, and then Kanye later on goes on that Drink Champs podcast, and he goes off on Diddy in a rant, calling Diddy a fed. He called Meek Mill a fed. So it's strange from a guy that had gone out of his way to like all his gushing praise and tribute to Diddy, to the point where he was the one presenting his Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. It seems awful strange it went from that in the same year to then Kanye going on a rant calling Diddy a fed. And that's the question that I have about this whole thing, about this friendship and this falling out. There's questions there. The story that we're told is it's because Diddy wasn't happy with Kanye West and the whole White Lives Matter t-shirt thing. That's what it might appear to be on the surface, but then I just think, is there something a bit more to this that's going on that I just don't know? Because I mean, has it really been about race with Diddy? It's like Diddy's a monster. Diddy could abuse, he could abuse a white man. He could abuse a black man. He could abuse a white woman. He could abuse, uh, you know what I mean. He could abuse a Latino woman. Asian. So why all of a sudden was the breaking point? Like in terms of their friendship, it was Kanye West posting this White Lives Matter thing. Why was that such a big deal? To like Diddy decided it wasn't even so much that he cut ties with Kanye, but he made it clear that that was just wrong, and that something along the lines of like, if anyone wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt, they would deserve to get their ass handed to them, something along those lines, right? But still, there's some stuff about this that I do question, and I mean, the lawsuit in general, I do question. I don't know of all the stuff there that is all true. But there's a lot of it though that I probably do think is true though, that Kanye, is certainly he's certainly no doubt loves ladies. He's a womanizer. There's some vice. That's probably his main vice. But yeah, I do still have some question marks there. But some people think Michael Jackson had clones too. Yeah, you get all these conspiracy theories, don't you, Lenny? So wow, yeah, Diddy had writing credits. Wow. I didn't know about that because Kanye is quite hands-on with the stuff he does. I mean, I know he has his team of writers. Diddy's not so much a writer, but then Diddy was like like a Pharrell, a Timberland, a Dr. Dre type, where it's not just he's a producer, he's a personality. He's a rapper, he's a sing. Well, he tried singing, Diddy, but he was horrible, right, on that Keisha Cole song. But he was a guy though that could maybe, like a Dr. Dre, he was good at producing people, where he could tell people, oh, you need to rap like this, rap like that, rap a bit slower, do like say it like this kind of thing, Diddy. But I mean, Diddy was the guy that he had people writing his raps, so you know what I mean. Like Dr. Dre, he wasn't really a rapper. People would write Dre's raps, and yeah. Well, I don't think I'll Be Missing You should be on the radio, Lanny. No P Diddy song should really be on the radio now, right? P Diddy might say in court that these counters were consensual. I mean, there's going to be some made-up allegations in there, Lanny. There's going to be people looking for a payday. But how can you say that all of this is fake, especially when, initially he tried to say it wasn't true, what happened, what all that stuff that Cassie alleged that happened. But then they released the tape. They got the tape of him assaulting her in the hotel lobby. It's just madness, man. Yeah, no, that's all what else have they got? You know what I mean? It's just the lawsuits. There'll be more and more that'll pile up, because I mean, yeah, about 100 and 120 people got together in that lawsuit, but there was like 3,000 cases already, and they had a vetting process, and just gee. Again, I don't know what is it they want. Do they just want to take Diddy down, or do they want Diddy to snitch? And then if he snitches, he might do 15 years in jail. If it's just they want to take him down, they can get him in jail for life, But Holly Willoughby told her. Oh man. Well, I mean, to me, I still feel like, I mean, could we hear from Diddy, or is there not a chance of that now that he's in jail? It's not going to be like a whole thing, like an R. Kelly moment when he was on Gail Kim and he gets up and he's screaming and he's so emotional and breaking down in tears. Don't know if that's going to if that would happen, right? But I'll go back to that story though. So Kanye and Diddy. So yeah, so he presented them with that Lifetime Achievement Award. Kanye, who opted for a typically kooky look for the occasion, a zip-up hoodie and a baseball cap with a black mask and glasses, revealed Diddy was his idol. Recalling how he plays music growing up, Kanye remember thinking, I just need to meet this man. This is my favorite artist. Yeah, there was a rapper I followed, Jay Electronica, and his big thing was he wanted Bad Boy to sign him, you know. And in the end, he got signed by Jay-Z, so I don't know how better that was. It was maybe slightly better. But, yeah. It says, you see him, I'm saying favorite artist, everything, not specifically production, the trip. Back then, there were so many rules to hip-hop, and he broke all of them. He also hinted his marriage to ex-wife Kim Kardashian, saying, I go to him for advice to this day. He inspired so many of my choices, so many of my life choices, my wife choices. Now, this is the thing that's a bit weird, because he was having a go at Diddy in the Drink Champs interview, because it was the whole thing when they had the divorce, the separation, himself and Kim, and it was his kid's birthday. And it would have been North, I believe. And couldn't get the address to the party where the party was at for his kid. I think in the end, Travis Scott gave him the address, but he was mad at Meek Mill and P. Diddy for not, I guess he had gone to them and wanted to get the address of his kids, because, you know, these people, they're all connected, right? He wanted the address, but then they didn't give him it. And he was accusing basically the kidnap of the Kardashian family of, well, I mean, well, they were blocking him from seeing his own kid, you know, and I think he even said stuff that they tried to put him away in a mental home or whatever, but yeah. But it's weird, though, how he was so mad about that, but then he gave him this gushing praise, because that whole thing was back in like 2020, 2021, not being able to get the address to the kids, the birthday party. So then in 2022, though, he's presenting Diddy with a Lifetime Achievement Award. So it was like, was he just holding that, bottling that in the whole time, but still was going to praise him? I don't know, man. I mean, possibly. But it seems a little bit weird, though, doesn't it? Like, but, and so there's questions I have there about that, about this supposedly, that, you know, because from going from the article here, if you read through the article, you think, well, they were actually quite close, you know, closer than I thought they were. And you think, well, you know, if they were supposedly that close, he must have had. You'd think that Kanye would have an idea what he was like. You know what I mean? That's the conclusion I come to anyway. You know. But then, yeah. So yeah. I mean, that's the stuff. He does seem unhinged. His wife's always naked. All these weird things he wears. It's, yeah. I mean, it's no secret he's been unhinged for a while, you know. But he just seems to go way off on the deep end even further. You know what I mean? I mean, you think maybe he's cooled down a little bit since the whole Hitler was a good man thing. I love Hitler on InfoWars with Alex Jones. You think that maybe Ye is cooled down somewhat, but you just never know. You just got to give it another few months, and he's done something really out there, really controversial, said some weird shit. I mean, there's still time for him to even top the whole I love Hitler thing, because all that stuff that came out in the lawsuit as well about, you know, he was doing the Nazi salute, he was pressuring people into doing that, the whole Heil Hitler thing, wanting people in the art team, design team, to draw swastika-like things for a logo in his company. Just all this mad shit. Really weird. Oh, Lenny. What's disturbing, Lenny, is one of his kids actually, like, they drew the album cover, Lenny, of that Kanye's on believe it was his last album cover, and it's Kanye, and it's like his, and then his new wife who's like semi-naked. This is just like a young 8, 9-year-old kid doing a drawing. It's like, it's fucked up, man. It's. But I'll go back to sharing. So the former close friends have now been feuding since October 2022 after Diddy took umbrage at Kanye bringing out his infamous White Lives Matter t-shirts. Yeah. Shit, where am I? But that seems to be the big problem now, though. But Kanye West said George Bush doesn't like black people in 2005 post Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, that's true. I'd lost my point where I was at. I clicked the wrong button. Shit. Oh, I've gone through most of it. It's just all this stuff, things you've got to click out of when you're on the Daily Mail. Yeah, that was the big one. But then the thing was, when Kanye said that in 2005, Lanny, like, he was popular, he was well liked and well received when he said that, but yeah, it's different now, though. You know what I mean? It's like, like, 5-6 years ago, he was saying slavery as a choice. You can't tell me he didn't know what he was doing. He wanted that controversial people to react. He loved it. I think he thrives on that stuff. He likes to kind of be the bad guy. I think a lot of it is by design with Kanye. There was some more stuff there because there were still articles. The Daily Mail took up. The man has a mental illness. Simple. It's not that deep. Yeah. I get what you're saying there, Humble. I get that. But at the end of the day, this was like a supremely talented guy. He was producing, doing the beats very early on, young teen in his bedroom, had that drive that he was going to be somebody, persistence, the hard work, starting out as a producer who no one knew. And then when he's, 25, 26 around that, gets the big break, gets the album, gets the hits, and it all just changed so fast for him. You know what I mean? Kanye wasn't always probably that guy that had, a mental health problem. But then it magnified any issues that you have internally. They magnify. Once you're out in the public eye and you've got all the adulation, people telling you how great you are all the time, and you're getting that feedback from the world, but then you're becoming very successful. But then there's that side of you where you can, I think Simon Cowell says, success doesn't create the monster, but it enables the monster. And I suppose that's it enabled Kanye. And Kanye could do all this stuff. And we always, the big fans of Kanye will always give him a free pass, right? People will still give him a free pass, even after the Hitler stuff, right? But, the rushing the stage, the Taylor Swift thing, the slavery sounds like a choice, all that stuff. Anyone else, it would be like, yeah, it's like, dude, you need to get mental help. You'd be shunned from society, but people gave Kanye that free pass. We're guilty. People in society, we are guilty because we let it slide. You know what I mean? We didn't check him. Kanye West was disowned for talking about Ivanka Trump's husband, Jared. Well, maybe that's what it was, Lenny. Yeah, maybe there had been some issues there and a falling out occurred, I believe. And maybe, I don't know, it's a big thing there with Diddy and the people he did business with. So Kanye being Kanye and not giving a fuck and I guess he fell out with the wrong person. May have affected things with Diddy and people he does business with. I don't know. But they say though that pretty much that Diddy's like well, a lot of people put these like the same theories that Epstein was working for Mossad. People say that about Diddy too, though. Um, Humble finesse, yeah, but music and beats is his lane. We expect too much from celebrities sometimes. Human too with their own issues. The problem is people expect them to be perfect. Yeah, we all make we make that same mistake because it goes back to we put up celebrities on a pedestal because they're different, because it's like they're in their own kind of world, They're not in the world of regular people. Well, that's what you think when you're a kid anyway, right? There's like celebrities and then there's normal people. And people think and you're led to believe there's this huge distinction. But there's not, because you could be famous, but you could still be broke, you know what I mean? And you got to worry about how I'm going to, this next bill, how I'm going to pay it, So it's not really that different, really. But then there can be that thing that people love, that being famous. People would take being famous over rich. They'd take it over being, people knowing who they are. They'd like that. They'd like the world to know who they are. Yeah. But Humble, I don't know. I mean, Kanye had an interview with that guy Lex Friedman, and he said something very interesting. And Lex Friedman asked him, "How do you want to be remembered?" And Kanye, in the end, said, "I don't want to be remembered at all." And I think he was going back to hundreds of years ago of people that had done things and all these innovations and all these things and how they changed the world. And he was making the point that just me, who's just a rapper, producer, I don't deserve to be remembered. They deserve to be remembered more. So I always wonder, Kanye, could Kanye just like, is it almost like by design he's just intentionally wants to destroy himself and self-destruct? Like, and that's why all this stuff, he's saying the worst shit you could say, like, I love Hitler, Hitler was a good guy. That's the things that people are going to turn on you about. I don't know. It's a strange one. Dave Grohl fathering a love child and releasing a statement like he was doing the honourable thing will contribute to raising a child, and why did he do that? Oh, there's a lot of sketchy stuff out there about Dave Grohl, though. God. Fathering a love child, though, there could be a couple of them, though. He might have, though. That's just like so common in that rock and roll world, and it happens with rappers too. No, Lenny, you would never have me queuing outside. You would never have me queuing outside for $400 trainers. Never. You can meet a homeless person with way more knowledge than a rich person. Yeah, that can be true. Yeah, it's a mental health issue, but no one's telling him. No one's telling him he's got a mental health problem. Humble. But then, even if someone told him, are they going to listen? Is he going to listen to them? Like, probably not. Kurt Cobain would have kicked Dave Grohl out Nirvana 100%. Yeah. Well, it's kind of strange how these things happen, of like the guys who are just the drummer in the band, and then look what they go on to do, like Phil Collins and Genesis, Dave Grohl with Nirvana. He wasn't that well known in Nirvana. He was like in the background, in the end, being a drummer, but too famous. Yeah, he feels he doesn't need to listen. Maybe that's the same issue that Elvis Presley had as well. Humble. Kurt Cobain, yeah, I said that. Yeah, DMX with 15 kids. He chose drugs and died. Yeah, well, he tried to get straight. He did try and turn to religion, the DMX, but he had a lot of demons, though. He was hard. Foo Fighters are a pub band compared to Nirvana. I wouldn't disagree. Yeah, there's just something about Dave Grohl. I can't even really like pinpoint it, but there's just something about him that comes off a bit off-putting, though, doesn't there? But But it is weird though, like getting back to this like stuff with Diddy though. It's like, and then it's linking it to Kanye. I just don't know, man. It's a funny one, and there was some more stuff I was going to share. So yeah, so it was this whole thing here. Kanye West, TMZ, sexual harassment accuser claims he drugged her at Diddy's studio session. Um, his ex-executive personal assistant is adding to her previous claim about the mogul, claiming not only she was sexually harassed by Ye, but also she alleges the rapper drugged her at a studio session co-hosted by Diddy. Filed a lawsuit against Kanye back in June, claiming he fired her after sending vile sexual texts and videos. Amended the lawsuit. You just wonder why do you amend it though? Why do you not put this stuff in there before? I think it would be quite relevant. Several U claims, including she attended a studio session with the Don the rapper and Diddy. She says that her and her former artist management client, whose name is not in the lawsuit, were invited by Ye to the studio session he co-hosted with Diddy. According to the lawsuit, soon after they arrived, drinks were served to her and others in attendance, followed by an announcement everybody had to drink if they wanted to stay. Wow, no pressure, huh? She drank, but after a few small sips of the beverage, poured at the direction of Kanye by a studio assistant and then served her by Kanye West. She started to feel disorientated. She woke up the next day remembering almost nothing of what took place at the alleged studio session and felt immense shame and embarrassment. Years later, while working with Kanye, she claims West brought up the night in question, saying they did hook up and proceeded to provide further details of the alleged incident. Before Kanye allegedly provided those details, she said that she simply got roofied and embarrassed herself at a work function. Well, that's what she thought. Lauren was already suing Kanye for allegedly sending her dirty text messages in which she claims he wrote things like, "See, my problem is I'd be wanting to fuck, but then after I fuck, I want a girl to tell me how hard they've been fucked while I'm fucking them. Then I want her to cheat on me." Gee, sounds like he's a bit of a cuck. This is like some Diddy shit, right? Almost in a way. He'd want her to cheat on him? Weird. Also claims Kanye would masturbate while on the phone with her. He allegedly fixated on the penis size of her boyfriends. Is this not like similar, like kind of like Diddy shit we're hearing? Weird. It's weird. Diddy was arrested last month, as we all know about. And Lauren's claiming Kanye drugged at her studio session co-hosted by Diddy, but she's not accusing Diddy of any wrongdoing. But it's the kind of it's Diddy shit though, really, essentially, is it? But yeah. No one is perfect, bro. I met crackheads smarter than sober. Yeah. No. I hear you, man. I hear you. But yeah, I mean, I'm just doing this video, humbled just to get in some, because there's some question to be asked there about, if Kanye West was so close to Diddy, right? Did he know what was going on there? Did he really know what Diddy was, what he was like, what he was all about? I didn't realize how close Diddy and Ye were. I mean, like we'd hang around here and there and be at the same kind of parties and events, but they seem to be pretty close, though. No. They don't think about kids, Lana. You're right. They don't think about their kids. You should be putting a picture of your kids in your mind to stop you doing that shit. You know what I mean? Period. He should get out in bail. Phone Channel 5. Castaway, right? Was that the show that I mean, he's really clutching at straws as he's Schofield, though, if he's trying to get on a Channel 5 program. Who watches Channel 5 these days? There's a couple other things on here though about. I'll share one more. Well, you know, Lanny, that Diddy's, I believe, in sharing a jail cell with the guy, that Sam Bankman-Fried guy, the guy that was like the guy, that whole big $1 billion crypto scam. Like, gee, he'd be probably glad to be in with a guy like that and not some proper like hard guys that could fuck him up real bad, you know. They say the jail conditions are the worst in the prison that he's in, like the worst jail, I believe, in America. I don't think it's not just New York, but America, right? Um, but yes, there's some more stuff here. So Kanye West turning petrified about becoming the next Diddy amid scandal. Kanye West public stunt fails to hide the serious accusations he is facing. Kanye West, who goes by the name Ye, and his wife Bianca, alleged marriage troubles are becoming a public stunt. That's what people are trying to say. According to Daily Mail, the couple was going to divorce after less than 2 years of marriage after claims that they had drifted apart. The Insider reported the same outlet. The unlikely couple has confirmed they are still together and that these rumors were made up by West to distract his fan base from a serious lawsuit against him. It could be there. That could be what him and his team did. It's all by design. Never know. A source also revealed that West is worried about his lawsuit, mainly his reputation, and has been discussing the matter with his lawyers. Kanye is concerned that his new lawsuit will drag him down to Diddy's level, and he's been speaking to his legal reps. He's paying attention to what's going on with Diddy, and some believe that the publicity stunt was a way of overshadowing details of the harrowing lawsuit. Yeah, I mean, if there's one rapper who talks a lot of shit, it definitely wouldn't be able to handle jail as Kanye. Yeah, Kanye wouldn't be able to handle a day in jail. I could say that. I could say that with the utmost confidence. And yes, that just goes through all the stuff again, which he's accused him of. 88-page lawsuit. And yeah, but it's some weird. There's some questions, definitely some questions there though with the stuff with Diddy and Kanye. They're supposedly falling out. Okay, guys, come on, get along. Don't fall out. Well, who are you talking about, Humble? Are you talking about Diddy or are you talking about Kanye West? I was actually, Lenny, I texted Maureen earlier. Maureen WhatsApp back and forth. And Cara did comment on one of my videos a few days ago. Be good to get the original guys back in for a live stream at some point, eh? Julio Cass as well. Can't forget Julio Cass. So I'm just looking at what's happening in the world. What has been happening in the world? So in the end, was it 0-0 Scotland? I watched a bit the first half. 0-0 Scotland Portugal, right? No, I'll pass that on, Lanny. I'll pass that on. Humble. When it comes to Diddy, I'm sure he did some effed up shit. Let's be real. A lot of this shit is trauma dumping. I'm a dude who had a lot of women in their life. A lot of them know you what they did. Yeah, it can be. Some women can be a bit dramatic like that and do that, but there is. I do believe in such a thing, humble as karma, and everyone has their day, though. But Garth Brooks accused of R word last week. Well, Kylian Mbappe's been accused of this happened at a hotel in Sweden. I don't know how true that is, though. Or it always seems to be a thing of like this celebrity that are away in a different place in a hotel. a lot of these allegations. You don't know. You just don't know what to believe, though. Could it be true? Could it be just a fake? You know, Thomas Tuchel, the manager of England, though. I guess they'll be expecting Tuchel to get them a trophy, right? The Euros or the World Cup. Some things could be totally made up, Humble. There's some of those allegations out there could be total bullshit. I believe, but you know the old saying though, where there's smoke, there's fire. And speaking of mother, he seems to have a very strange relationship with his mum as well. P Diddy, that just looks odd, doesn't it? But he got away with it for so long though. All this stuff was hidden. Nothing came out. You must have believed. I mean, you got to believe it's not just a case of all people reporting, filing lawsuits now. It was that these things were being investigated before, but it got dropped. You know. Right, so I'm going to wrap this up in just a couple of minutes. If there's any final comments, anything else you want to say, guys, say it now, and I'll respond. Yeah, I think that well, we got some pretty good numbers in overall. Some people dropping in and out, but it was good. We got a fair few people in overall. But I want to try and make this more a regular thing and maybe just get into some stuff with all the Diddy and some other things as well. May 5th trial, Lenny. Well, I think he's guilty as sin. I'm gonna say guilty. Don't think he could be not guilty. Guilty to me. But yeah, I think that's just me now because I'm getting quite tired, guys. As I say though, I'll try and do some more of these live streams and make it more, maybe like 2 a week at most. I'll see how I feel. But anything, any topics, anything else you want me to do a live stream on, we can do that. Maybe start sharing some videos, looking into some stuff. You know, you're trolling now, Humble. Come on, you know, guilty for being horny. You know, it's much more than that with Diddy. Come on, but that reminds me of that whole A minor thing in the Not Like Us rap that Kendrick did on Drake about minor. But I'm just going to call it for now. Call it a night, guys. I'm getting quite tired. But I'll be back again. Hopefully, maybe be back for a live stream. Maybe tomorrow, perhaps. Maybe Sunday evening. I'll see one of those days, perhaps. But that's me for now, guys. So thanks everybody for joining. And definitely, anytime you want to check out some other stuff, go ahead. I've got a few more videos and stuff I've done on Diddy. But I think I'm just going to call it a night for now. But thanks for everybody who joined. Much appreciated. Cheers. Bye.